Hey there guys, it's Metro, and today we're taking a look at another Darkheart Thicket, but this one's a little bit interesting. I got some really nice, there's a few really nice things in this video that I want to show you, and I've been doing a lot more of my DK, starting to get him geared up for higher level ones. Unfortunately, I'll probably never actually do rating on him, so it's going to be a while, but I do want to try to pug as much as possible and learn as much as possible, and one of the things that I have learned recently, thanks to some of you guys as well, is how the route we're going to take in this dungeon. I'm going to tell you exactly what we do here. Obviously, this first pull, this is something I'd advocate all the time. People said in higher level mythics, it's just not possible because these cats jump and you can't control who they jump. But you see that disorient, that is avoidable. It's a cast. There's the 3 owls there, and they both try to, or all 3 of them try to cast it. We don't seem to have any AoE interrupts, but yeah, if we stunned and silenced properly, that would never get off. So you would really just be dealing with the cats there, and people say they do a little bit too much damage. But I don't know. I've never experienced a big issue with that. So I like to do that pull all the time. I did it in like +6s and +7s, but I've never done it on a dangerous affix. So I guess we'll find out anyway. So yeah, so then I'm going bear, and then we're going to get these guys now. If they were in a better position, we probably would have just pulled them all together. This is only +3. This is not something like I wanted to upload because of its difficulty, but I did want to show you guys some great utility here, all right? We have some very good utility in this group. I brought a Warlock and a Windwalker Monk, and unfortunately the Warlock is not playing up to par. I expect a lot better damage than Warlock, and a lot of people were really down on where I put Warlock. I put them there because they have great damage as well. People say, like Fire Mage is the only damage dealer that could even compete, which, I mean, yeah, you're probably right. They do insane damage, but other classes can do a marginal amount less damage, and they bring a lot of cool utility, right? So Warlock having battle res, and of course very durable. I could also summon. That's something that I should have mentioned on the list, but I didn't because I wasn't sure if it was ever actually going to be needed. In some situations in previous challenge modes and expansions, there was a good case for summoning. But Hellstone can be used on controlled wipes, and you're actually going to see that here. So spoilers. But anyway, yeah. So we're going to jump up here, I guess, and we do accidentally pull the stuff on the right, and in subsequent runs, I didn't realize we did it. So the path that I'm taking actually requires, so that Warlock came around the side, so he aggroed it. So we actually need these mobs to do this exact route that I'm trying to do here. And I didn't realize that subsequent times I did this dungeon. I did it again a few times after because I wanted to see if I could learn anything further. But we actually fucked it up so bad. I did it. We'll talk about it at the end. But anyway, so yeah, I didn't know we needed those mobs. We skipped them, and then we ended up needing to pull some in the end there. So yeah, so that's part of it. If you're going to do this route, pay close attention to everything I pull. That was an accident. It was pulled on accident. Now the Warlock needs to repair. It was pulled on accident, but it was actually needed for the strategy. So, and in fact, it was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. There's a few other things that I actually wanted to try to skip in here over the weekend, but I just I couldn't find people who were like a conducive group. This group worked well because we have an Ankh and a Soulstone, and of course 2 other battle reses. So this is what I'm saying. Like I take battle reses all day. It's not necessarily something that you need, of course, if you're playing well. Nobody's gonna die, but yeah, it's devastating when like the tank dies and it's just so. The thing that sucks about this, the one thing I am really I feel really punished by, is this like extra penalty if everybody dies. I'm not even really sure how it wipes. So that's a question I have for you while we go through this. For example, all 5 of us are fighting these bears here, okay? Myself, the healer, and 2 of the damage, one of the damage dealers die. The other damage dealer and the other one's like durable. He could tank for a few minutes. So all 3 of us die. We release and come back in the instance. But before we make it back to the bears, the other 2 damage dealers that survived earlier die. Even though we're back in the instance, but we haven't engaged the mobs, does that count as a full wipe? I don't know. I don't know how it works. I would have liked some clarification on this topic from Blizzard because I feel like they did not say shit about it. I wasn't even aware it was in the game until the actual shit was live. I don't remember this happening on the beta, but maybe I just didn't pay close attention. But anyway, that's a bit worrisome. So having battle reses just saves that extra penalty all the time. Like if the tank or the healer dies on some of these pulls, it's very often a wipe, which is the shittiest part because it's like one death, especially if it's like the healer, and that small mistake could cost you the entire time, or cost you a whole chest. So if you just battle res them and you don't have, and then this one especially, if you mess up in this one, oh my god, the runbacks are brutal. I feel like I live in this place. I've done this place like 30 times in the last 2 weeks. Like probably more than I've done every other every other dungeon put together. So I really learned the pains that this place could have. But there you see the grips. Man, I'm just really in love with DK right now, guys. I am so in love with that. And that's part of why I'm doing this one so much, because DK is just so freaking good for it. It's unbelievable. And something else, that got brought up in the tier list there, it's like DK DPS is on top. But, they're on top because it's in a vacuum. I have to assume you don't have a tank. So if you have an actual DK, you don't really need a second grip. It wouldn't hurt. And they also bring the battle res. But it's like, if you actually have a blood DK, then the DK DPS doesn't need to be on the top of the list anymore. He can go back to like middle of the pack where his normal utility fits in. So yeah, those are things that you got to consider, right? Like people are looking at that from their own experience, but I'm looking at it from a vacuum where you have no other utility from any other role, and then those things become of paramount importance. But as you see there, like you'll understand why the grips are. I feel like I use the grips very well. I feel like I can majorly impact the pace of the dungeon with them, and that is very important because I really do feel like it is the highest impact utility in the video game. But so anyway, we're gonna pull all this shit here. I love doing this pull. It's not very efficient though, to be fair. Like, because these menders or tenders or whatever they are, they heal the flowers. So all this like nuts mode AoE damage that I'm doing right now, which by the way, I'm really satisfied with Blood's AoE. Even after all the nerfs that they did, man, they really nerfed the fuck out of Blood AoE. Like Blood Boil and damage overall got nerfed so bad. But you see there, that fucking dude just gets gripped right back in. So, but yeah, so those flowers are basically at full health here, and that's because we're AoEing 2 mobs that are not taking damage. So I don't know. It's kind of, superfluous. Anyway, that's a joke. If you got that joke, let me know. But either way, the pull is not very efficient. But I like finding little things like that where we can pull a lot together. And that's like an ideal situation. They kind of coalesce together. Like you don't even have to go out of your way to pull these together. But unfortunately, it's not very fast. Like, I don't know if it's like, because you're pulling. So I think maybe the previous pull, like the one prior to the one we just did with that first mender, or like it's not a mender, it's the dryad chick. That pull with the previous one, maybe that would be better. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So now this is another one that I wouldn't mind doing. Like, if there was an easy way to get every single one of these mobs, I would do that. And I make a mistake there. I grip a stupid fucking eye guy, and that dryad's just back there doing whatever the hell at once. That thing is those mobs are so annoying, guys. That's what I'm saying to you. Like, grips are so freaking important to me because those mobs are absolute pains in the asses. I can't say it enough. Like, I really despise mobs that try to run out of melee. And this is really the first expansion we've had it. So I feel like they really acknowledge the fact that it's annoying because they've literally never had it in the game. I mean, let's put it this way. If it's not in TBC, and then it's probably not annoying, but it was not, and it still is. So yeah, I don't know. We got like this lone mob here. So as you see, we're getting close to the mob count. Things are obviously going quite well. We're at 21 minutes almost, and yeah, DPS is not really that stunning. I've definitely had better groups, of course, but as you see, like the utility we have is making things go very fast, and you're gonna see a very, very, very nice piece of utility that is definitely a lot more important than anything we've done in this dungeon so far at the end here. So yeah, we're just going to fight this tree. Now, if you're a woodcutter, like in the latest episode of Westworld, and you get kind of off your route, what'd they call it? if you're a stray and you're the only woodcutter in the pack, then the rest of your group is not going to be able to kill this boss, guys. So you need to make sure that your friends don't get cut. Yeah, anybody watching Westworld? I am fucking loving Westworld, man. I am a big like I don't know what to call it, like fan of things like The Matrix and Inception and Ex Machina, like the kind of like alternate psychological reality where you like choose to be in it, and I don't know, it seems so cool. So I could see them doing something like that in real life very very soon. Like I would not be surprised if that's where the 3D goggles, you know, like the VR goggles, not 3D, the VR goggles that like all these companies are making, if that was going there somehow, I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, yeah, so the tree's going to pick you up and then he's going to throw you. So that's a pretty new mechanic there, guys. I don't think we've ever seen something like that before. Yeah, anyway, I really could have just probably showed the last two bosses of the video on that and everything. But so here we go. So we're going to, that's how I like to pull this bit here. We're going to come up to mob count here. These guys actually give mob count. I was assuming that they weren't going to, but they do give a small amount. So it is important, obviously, that you pull them. And then, of course, these big blood elemental dudes, yeah, they give a little bit too. You can dodge that there. I don't do it because I don't move far enough, but it's something that I see almost no one do. I always just see people stand still. Look at that. Look at that grip. So yeah, you just don't get hit by that. You know what I mean? It's that piece easy, which is interesting because I see people get fucking bounced around all the time. And then in like other pulls where we did this, they like coalesced and formed multiple ads because we had low DPS, low AoE, I guess, and no stun or any type of interrupt. And then there's like three of them, and then it's like ping pong. It's like bomb, 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 bomb. Everybody's getting fucking knocked around. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that pack there. We get all those bloods, and then we're gonna skip that one there. There's actually one stray blood up there. You see that guy up there? But anyway, yeah, we're going to skip that final big blood elemental because now we do have mob count that we need. So that's awesome. So here's like the first thing. I think I've done this in most of the times I've done this video, this dungeon on video at least. But yeah, you can skip that. It's a very easy skip. You just wait for it to patrol to the left and then run by it. I think in previous sessions we had people who were slow and they didn't make it, which almost fucking happens here. Like, let's go, guys. I feel like people don't even understand the amount of times I've tried to do like the basic ass skips in dungeon and people just don't get it. They're like, wait, where are you going? What's going on? But anyway, yeah. So this is a hard boss. I feel like this is one of the harder bosses, especially without Bloodlust, which we don't use here. I would use Lust on this fight, but the last boss can get pretty dangerous too. The problem is the dangerous part is at the end on the final boss. This boss does not change, so I always look at bosses like this as like a Lust candidate, but I think either way, single target damage has never been more important. Like I mentioned in videos past, it is unfortunately kind of becoming something that you have to consider because some of these bosses, especially on the higher, like, and then, you know, you got Tyrannical and all that nonsense, at plus 10 and stuff, yeah, that's when damage becomes a real fucking part of it. But the way I look at it is most people who are doing plus 10s are not geared for them. I think, you know, you're meant to be like well into 870 for plus 10 because the way I look at it is the gear that drops from Mythic Plus is meant to be not an upgrade for you. It's meant to be the box at the end of the week. Now, of course, that may not be Blizzard's philosophy, but I really have not gotten many upgrades from actual completion of these dungeons that don't Titan Forge, let me put it that way, or like Warforge or Socket or something. Like the regular pieces are always trash, and I honestly feel like you can't do this system properly if you needed those pieces. Like, if you were, like, sub 840 item level, I don't think you'd be able to do plus 3s. Like, you are going to struggle. So, anyway, I'm typing the whole thing out, all right? So, here we go. The whole 18 minutes so far, 14 minutes in, this is what it's all about. This is the main reason I want to show you this video because you guys told me about this. I watched other people do it, and now I'm going to do it too. And it's really smart. And a lot of people I try to do this with don't actually know about this. So, this is just your good old-fashioned Iron Docks, sorry. Iron Docks type skip, all right? We're just going to fucking run by every motherfucker, okay? And that Warlock's lagging his ass fucking behind. I mean, I don't know how we don't die here. I really don't. The healer I'm with is a guy who he's in our guild and stuff. And I don't think he fully understood what we were doing because, yeah, it's a bit sketchy. Typically, you would just run by everything and not even aggro, but there's no way you can do that in Legion. Mobs hit way too hard. So yeah, the Warlock actually makes it. I don't know. I would have liked to have stayed back there and see what actually happened with the group. But now I've done this like 5 times in the last few days, okay? And this is one of the only times where it actually goes smoothly. What you could also do here is have somebody who can res try to die first. It's a lot more difficult now that I need to actually get thread on everything. But either way, the amount of fucking times the Shaman onks before it fully resets is absolutely baffling to me. Literally like 3 or 4 times it happened this weekend. And one of them was a guy in our guild. And I was like, I don't, dude, this is so basic. So there you go, guys. That's utility. If you don't have battle reses and you don't have an onk or some way to make a controlled wipe, you're using a pot there. Or you probably can't even make that run with the pot, to be honest. It's probably too far. So I don't know. Was it worth it? We lose time. It's a controlled wipe still. We talked about this in previous videos. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, it is, because we skipped a lot of fucking shit. But I just really am skeptical about dying on purpose right now. I wish they just didn't include that. Like, I understand making it so lust doesn't reset when you die. That makes sense to me. But also penalizing you if you die, like, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, we are going to trace Chestos this. That's Spanish. I've been learning a lot of Spanish recently. And then, yeah, we had lust for this boss. So you'll see. Enhance, very strong, single target. Like I said, we really couldn't do this without a Shaman, to be honest. Like I said, it would be a lot more difficult. You would really be playing a gambling game, because what would need to happen was you would need somebody who could res to die before the tank down there in a situation, you know. So it's not as easy as it sounds, because the boss or the mobs and shit, they don't really do random damage once they're down there. So I don't know. I guess you could obviously do it without a Shaman. It would be a lot more dangerous. And the problem is, so I did the same fucking thing. We did it even easier, the one with the guy in my guild, okay? We had 20 minutes at that point, and we died and didn't do it properly. So we lost like 5 full minutes, if not closer to 10, because this fucking run back is balls. It is the worst run back on the planet. So yeah, we had to run back through the entire fucking dungeon and then actually kill the trash. So yeah, I mean, we lost like 10 minutes. So anyway, now I want to take a moment to talk about some other things. We're going to look at the loot first. Get nothing, like I said. Plus 3 chests, and I don't know. I'm just not happy with how the loot works. But anyway, I do want to take a moment to show off DK's healing. All right, so this is a topic we talked about a lot in the beta, and I haven't really covered it since. But this is a guild. This guy's like a 869 Resto Shaman, okay? And yes, I did more healing than him for the entire dungeon, okay? So there's the spread, and you'll see, you know, what exactly it's looking like. It's just part of the kit at this point. Like, you need to be able to do this, but I think this really proves it. And, you know, he really didn't do very much damage. He didn't take much use of this, especially in a +3. Like, if it was me and I had a tank healing for this much, I would be DPS every fucking global. But anyway, there's his spread, and you see exactly, I actually like almost tripled the healing he did just to me. All right, so he's healing the whole group. I'm just healing me, and I did more healing than him total. But the healing he did to me is, it's not even, it's less than half. So anyway, that's that. If you guys have any questions about that skip or about anything like that, let me know. Otherwise, in the subsequent days, I'll be finishing up the tank tier list and then be working on the healing tier list, and maybe we'll have some other videos out as well. So see you guys in a little bit.